My name is Michael, and welcome to my first video. It's not much of a set, if I'm going to be completely honest, but you work with what you got, right? So today we're going to be looking at My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. And, geez, look at that cover. Okie doke, let me give you a little bit of a rundown before I really get into talking about the book. So, as you might have already guessed, this concerns some best friend's exorcism. It. I'm not gonna end the video. Alrighty, let me give you a little bit of a rundown before I really get into talking about the book. As you might have already guessed, the book concerns some best friend's exorcism, where the best friend, Gretchen, seems a bit off to Abby. And I'm so fucking... Third time's a charm. Alrighty, let me give you a little bit of God fucking... Okay. Fourth time's the charm. Alrighty, let me give you a little bit of a rundown before I really get into talking about the book. So, as you might have already guessed, this concerns some best friend's exorcism. And the best friend in this situation is Gretchen, who is friends with Abby, the main character of the story. And one night, Abby, Gretchen, and their two friends, Margaret and Glee, go to Margaret's beach house. And Gretchen decides to have a swim in the middle of the night. As she runs off, being chased by her friends, she dives into the shallow lake, as it is low tide. And when she dives, she suddenly disappears and doesn't reappear again until the morning, where she is found by her friends in the middle of the forest, completely dirty and half naked. So, after that, Abby notices that Gretchen isn't exactly acting like herself. She's become a lot more shut in and very irritated, to say the least. And then all of a sudden, she's okay again. More than okay, actually. Gretchen decides to sort of leave Abby behind and just sort of make a trio out of her, Glee, and Margaret. But nobody but Abby seems to think that anything's up. From there on out, it's a bit of a mystery adventure. Having Abby try to figure out what exactly is going on with Gretchen. Or is it actually just that Abby's the one going insane? So with that done, I have to say I really enjoyed this book. It was a bit of a comfort read, honestly. I have not read a book that quickly, and quickly is not very quick for me, if I'm going to be honest. I am a very slow reader, but I finished this book in 3 days. It's what is it, like 332 pages, and it didn't feel that long. It went by very quickly, and it didn't really have much of a lull to it at all. As you can tell by as you can tell by the cover, it's going for more of a retro feel to it, which it being set in the 80s is pretty fitting. I didn't realize until I finished the book how much the cover really shows about the book. I haven't seen a cover that actually tells you what the book is about so well in a very long time. And as you can tell by the cover, it goes for a sort of B horror movie feel, which is really what this story felt like to me. It felt like a B-level horror movie, which is not to say that it was bad. It's not a particularly bad thing. Um, B horror movies are great comfort movies, uh, which is something interesting to say whenever it comes to horror, but it really is. It being set in summer is perfect for sort of what Grady Hendrix is going for here. It's not a particularly challenging read. There's not a lot to dig into when it comes to metaphors or any really deep meaning to it. What it says on the page is what it means. It's what's going on. There's not a whole lot more to it. Um, Close your ears for a bit if you don't want a spoiler. If you don't really care, it's not much of a spoiler, honestly. But if you don't really care, keep on listening. Um, Even when it comes to the titular exorcism, Grady Hendrix tries, I guess, sort of doesn't really try. He sort of hints at Gretchen not actually being possessed, at Abby just being not a great friend, which I can't remember where it was, but in the middle of the book, he starts putting in a little questionnaire that you'd find in like a teen magazine. That's titled "How to Tell If You're Not a Good Best Friend" or something like that, and it's just sort of for a tiny bit that he tries to make you question if Abby's crazy or not. But after that, he just doesn't really care about nuance and goes all out on you knowing for a fact that Gretchen is possessed for sure. I mean, the title itself kind of gives it out, but the fact that there isn't a whole lot of, you know, deepness to it is not a detractor at all, because in today's day and age where everything sort of has some incredible nuance to it, everything has to be the next Stephen King or, you know, the next fucking, I don't know, I'm not very good at similes. But it's comforting to find something that you don't really have to think deeply about. Which I don't know what that says about me, but it's just nice to have something that you understand completely. You know exactly what's going on here. There's almost not a moment when you're questioning like everything in this book. Which it's not to say that having critical thinking is a bad thing, but it's just nice to have something to just read. You start reading it, you go through it, you finish it, and you know what happened. And that's just it's just comfy. That's the best word that I can use to describe this book. Comfortable. As you might have already seen me overuse that word a little bit. But yeah, honestly, I really enjoyed this book. It's got to be probably one of my top reads this year. Um, so yeah, I completely recommend it. It's definitely not for everyone. If you're not into just like campy, cheesy, B level sort of stuff, and I'm pretty sure you might enjoy it, but I'm pretty sure you're not gonna particularly enjoy this book. Now, if you're into cheesiness, if you're into as corny as can get, where this book does get pretty corny from time to time, not gonna lie, then this book is definitely for you. And just honestly, I gotta go back to it. This is such an amazing cover. I really love this art. But yeah, that's honestly really all I gotta say about it. Um, I know this wasn't a particularly long video, but the sun's starting to go down, and that's the only lighting, well, at least good lighting that I have right now. So I'm gonna have to cut this a bit short. Hopefully, you enjoyed this. I'm hoping that I gave you something to look forward to when it comes to reading. But yeah, I hope you have a great day, and I'm out.